Here's Zac Taylor, Bengals coach from yesterday, on whether or not the absence of Chase and Higgins delays the development of the Cincinnati Bengals offense.
No, I think that they'll get the work in at the necessary time. And please, we have a high turnout for voluntary workouts. I told the guys, I understand it's voluntary. I appreciate them showing up. The guys that don't are still working hard elsewhere. And they'll be back at the right times. And so, and the beauty is we know those guys, we know what they're about, and that they'll be ready and focused when it's time to come back. We touch base. I don't call those guys every day. I'm not trying to wear them out. But again, they do an excellent job when I reach out, quickly getting back to me, making sure we're in communication, making sure we know where everybody's at on the process, and everything has been really positive with all those guys that aren't here.
Get their work in at the necessary time. I mean, first of all, you got to have Higgins sign his franchise tender. Until he does, he is not an employee of the Cincinnati Bengals. They hold his rights under the CBA. They have moved the piece on the chessboard that allows them to squat on the opportunity to have a contract with him, but they don't have a contract with him. He is not an employee of the team. So I don't know what the necessary time or necessary work will be for him. He can wait all the way until just before the start of the season, show up and make his $21.8 million, check the box on this year, and then become an unrestricted free agent if they don't tag him again next year. For Chase, he's under contract 2 more years. Will he be there for the mandatory minicamp? Will they get a deal done before the mandatory minicamp? Chris, they need to be ready. And the Bengals are awakening to this idea of, in the NFL, when you have nice things, it gets very expensive. We've got Joe Burrow. That's great. We got to pay him. Maybe we should sell the naming rights to our stadium, something we were never going to do. Yeah, we need to find every dollar we can to deal with the fact that we have a great team and we have to pay the great players. They better be ready to move on Chase, because as soon as Jefferson hits, boom. Just take it. And I don't know, do you give the same deal to Chase? Do you give it to Chase with a little bit less? I don't know. Or a little bit more? I don't know. But they better be ready to take that Jefferson deal and turn it into a contract with Chase, because that's what he's going to expect.
Well, yeah, he is. He's going to look at it and go, wait, listen, I mean, I know my numbers aren't exactly Justin Jefferson numbers here, right? But they've been damn impressive, and we went to a Super Bowl. And, I also, unlike Justin Jefferson, have another guy on the other side of the ball that, hey, he gets the ball too. So not every play is designed for me to the same capacity. I would think he's going to be right in that sweet spot where Justin Jefferson is now. Yeah, and I would think because they have a friendly, competitive relationship, this is a one-up thing. We've talked about this. I would not be shocked if, like you just alluded to, Justin Jefferson signs, Jamar Chase is about to sign, give me $100,000 more a year and we'll call it quits, just so I can say I got him. I don't doubt that. But, I mean, I think Jamar Chase is clearly number one priority here. Jamar Chase is a special football player, right? They don't come around very often, just like we talked about with Justin Jefferson yesterday. And, again, you know me. I mean, I think, Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek Hill, and A.J. Brown are in another class, in my opinion, at wide receiver. So, yeah, I would think, again, this is a guy that's, dances around that $34, $36, $38 million a year type of money, right? But they got to get this done. And I don't think that's, bodes well for Tee Higgins. I think Tee Higgins at the end of the day, is in a tough spot. He's going to have to take that franchise tag. He's a professional. Hopefully they get this work in with Joe Burrow, right? On the side, they can do that in the summer, get ready there. And I would expect Tee Higgins to be there for training camp because, again, he needs to have a good year because he still wants to prove
Why does he need to have a good year?
Well,
why? I mean, I saw there was a clip of
right.
Shefty and Orlovsky debating this point.
Yeah.
And I'm Team Shefty on this. I don't think Higgins has to have a great year. He just needs to get through to next year in one piece, and somebody's going to pay him.
Yeah, well, okay, but if you have a year where it's underwhelming and you're not at your best and maybe you don't come in in shape, again, for Mr. Every Last Dollar guy here, okay, that's how you get it, okay? Because whenever you're going to lose some people in the market, they're going to go, well, this guy's all about the money. He's a little lazy. He's not that great. I was going to offer him something a little more.
Team.
I know, but maybe there would have been a market that could have drove it up more with 4 teams. I mean, that's my point. I don't, again, is it going to, bottom line, is he going to get paid big money next year? Yeah, no matter what, he's going to get paid big money. I don't doubt that. But I do think that it can affect his market if he doesn't look the way we've seen him look the last few years, and he looks less than, that could turn some people off of him.
This comes down to the skill of his agents and explaining it to the teams at the appropriate time. They know what they're dealing with. The Bengals have a history of rarely, if ever, taking the franchise tag and turning it into a long-term deal. They use it as that, let's just get one more year out of the guy, draft his replacement, and move on. We saw him do that with Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
Draft his replacement and move on.
And they got Jermaine Burton this year.
And so we see which way the wind is blowing here. So the wind is blowing Higgins right out of Cincinnati. He's going to get $21.8 million this year unless they do something really crazy and rescind the franchise tag. But if they would do that in August, good luck getting $21.8 from someone else when depth charts are set and money is spent and teams are ready to go. So it's a dangerous game for Higgins to play for a variety of reasons. But I think at the end of the day, if he signs the tender and gets his $21.8 this year, even if he, has a hamstring injury and misses some time, or he's not in peak shape, he's not ready to go, whatever it is, if his agents are able to explain it the right way, he's still going to get paid when he hits the open market next year.
He's going to get paid. Well, I mean, again,
what he's already done will excuse whatever happens this year, because I think there'll be at least one team that understands he was protecting himself, he was pissed off, they didn't take care of him, and he was just biding his time until he got to the open market.
I mean, you're right about that, and you're right. I mean, he's going to get paid. I saw that thing with Orlovsky and Schefter too. I saw that. I did see that this weekend or Friday or whatever day it was. But yeah, he's going to get paid. I mean, again, obviously, the guy we just talked about, Nico Collins, Nico Collins is really good. He's not as good as Tee Higgins. So Tee Higgins is definitely going to command something north of that almost no matter what. My point was just, if he's at his best and he plays great and he's got great stats and all that, it's going to, it could definitely drive up the price. Just like we see guys all the time in a big contract year, kill it, kick it out of the park, and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 teams kind of up the ante and go, whoa, this guy's a little better than we thought, or whatever. That's all I was saying there. But you're right. He's the man. I just don't see how that gets done there as far as long-term with Tee Higgins. And I think he's, going to be franchised, and they're going to move on. And it's all about the Jamar Chase thing and trying to figure out that and where that goes. And the other thing, Mike, I'll say too, that's good for them, right? Sorry, I meant to say this. It's just that, hey, it's not a new offensive system, right? I know Brian Callahan has moved on to go to the Tennessee Titans, but we know it's Zac Taylor's offense. It's him. So it's not like they're missing out on anything and like, oh, man, there's a new faction of the playbook that I don't know about, right? This is a team that's been there, done that, and I do think they can weather this storm a little bit for sure.
One other thing to keep in mind as well, and this is where the Bengals benefit from the fact that Chase has 2 years left on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
This is a way where you can have a new money average that is much greater than the total dollars expended. And I'm doing the math here, so bear with me. He's due to make $9.8 million this year in year 4 of his rookie deal. His 5th-year option is identical to this year's franchise tag. It just works out that way. It's next year's transition tag for receivers. Or no, there's a different I'm sorry, that's the old calculation. Regardless, it's 21.8. Regardless of how they get there, it's 21.8. So that's 31.6 that he's due to make over the next 2 years. So if you take that 31.6, let's say he gets 35 per year on a 4-year extension. That's 140. You add the 31.6 to it, so it's a 5-year, $171.6 million contract. And just by way of illustration, it keeps the number in a lower range. It keeps so we're giving him $35 million per year, but because we only owe him 31.6 over the next 2, we do a 3-year extension at 35. We got him for 5 years. It's less out of pocket than what it would otherwise be if we were close to the end. I hope that made sense. There's a chance it didn't. But the point is this.
No, it did.
The more you can pump low numbers under the remaining contract into the bigger number, that's why agents get crazy when they go crazy when I say, whoa, new money doesn't matter. What matters is the total value at signing.
Yeah.
There's a lower total value at signing
for
Jamar Chase than there would be if he was 1 year or no years. Like Tee Higgins, no years away from getting that new contract. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.